Hey everybody, this is Midnight Update. I'm Seamus Byrne. Welcome to Wednesday, 24th of June. Tonight I've got some coverage from the recent Sony Sessions event here in Sydney, where Sony showed us a range of their latest goodies. Let's just take a look. Okay, now these are the new versions of Sony's kind of bedroom slash kitchen slash just small TV range. This is the 22-inch system, and you can see they've gone a bit more subtle with the colours. If we kind of point in the corners here, you can see that's kind of a nice subtle brown, and it's kind of a subtle, I'm going to guess blue-green. But yeah, a bit more subtle than the previous generation of the 20-inch version of this same range. But it's quite a nice little TV, and we're talking... we've got little clocks here as well. Fancy clock, and yes, you can turn it off. You can see that one's turned off. But kind of handy if you've got it set up in a certain room where it's handy to have a clock around. Not a bad idea. Now, we've also, what's nice is they've added the DLNA Ethernet system in here, so you can send content to this, music, videos, photos from other devices around the house or off your home network. So that's actually a pretty cool feature now, because you don't need to have, some deck sitting underneath it to play back extra content, so that's kind of cool. The other cool thing here is when you run in photo mode, if you have geotag data attached to your photos, then it can actually, display on a map, not on Google Maps or anything, but just it can pull in, some details of exactly where the photos were taken. So it's just a nice little extra feature when you're doing photo slideshows. And this is $899 for these 22-inch TVs, $899. Now this is the Super Muteki HTD DW8500. Now, this is interesting to see just how much home theatre system you can get yourself for $2,199 nowadays. It's a 7.4 channel home theatre. Now, 0.4 shows exactly where they're kind of pitching this thing. What that actually means is we're seeing 1, 2, and then over the other side of the room we've got another 3, 4 subwoofers, and then 7 main channels. But literally the way this kit works is you have your main control deck up top here, and then there are 2 separate sub amps. So that's 1 amp for each 2 of the subs. They basically admit that this is all about fun boys' toy style home theatre stuff. So 20-something guys who want to absolutely kick some ass with the amount of output they are getting from their home theatre system. So we've got, I think there's 3 HDMI ins, then, obviously the whacking great lot of general inputs as well as your HDMIs. Also support for the DM port, which we'll have another little bit of a chat about soon. Just generally a big fat kick-ass system for all your home theatre needs, if you're the kind of person who wants to absolutely blow away your neighbours. So here we are with the very funky sublights going. Now you see, if that's not going to look cool in a 20-something bedroom, I don't know what is. This is one of the new Sony models, the TG5 Handycam. Now this is, they're calling it the smallest full high-definition Handycam. So we're talking 1080i recording, but at full 1920 by 1080 resolution, and it's quite nifty to use. We've got quite a simple little system on the back. One of the features that I've always really liked about the Sony range is the kind of spot focus and spot metering systems that are on the touchscreen. So it's always been quite clever. They've combined that now so that it's actually one single spot meter slash focus, which makes a lot of sense, really. What else have we got? We have, one of the nice things is, this uses Memory Stick Duo, 16 gigs recording within the box out of the gate. It's also made of titanium, which is kind of fancy and nice and light, and obviously quite strong. A 10 times optical zoom, and we also have a really nice system where it will monitor any people in the frame, and if it sees people smiling, it will actually take a photo and drop that onto the card without interrupting the record process. So you can basically be, and it's doing the face detect and smile detect system. So that way, yeah, you can quite quickly just get nice little snapshots that get thrown onto the memory stick for you while you're recording some videos. So one of the other nice features is this also includes the GPS features like you find on the higher end Sony range as well. I mean, not calling this not high end, but this really does have all the features of the top level Sony camcorders now. So this includes the geotagging for wherever you're recording. Later on you can see exactly where you shot it, and it also uses the Exmor sensor, which we've talked about in the past when we first saw the new Sony range launch earlier this year. If there's anything that it lacks compared to the new range, it's really that this is using a kind of old style electronic stabilization, not the super amazing optical stabilization of the latest cameras, but it still does a great little job. Nice little pocket camera, and you're going to pay $17.99 to get this one in your hands. Now this is the new AW series laptop, and it's actually pretty sexy, I have to say, in terms of this is meant to be a photo and audio and kind of creative industry type laptop. It's actually an 18.4 inch model, which is kind of an interesting size, but what makes that nice, and it has actually, it's kicking up into Windows, but it has, you know, your full-size keyboard with your numeric pad, all that sort of business. 18.4 inch actually means it's a true 1920 by 1080 system. So that's kind of pretty cool. And, you know, you've got a lot of AV kind of features. You've got all your kind of fancy AV inputs and things all around the system. And, yeah, it's a nice keyboard. One of the kind of, I guess, the sexy factors is we've actually got a nice finish around here. What they've actually used is the material that's on the body of the Alpha series cameras from Sony. So it has that nice kind of camera body finish, which is, you know, you can kind of just call it gimmicky, but it's actually really kind of, it does have a nice feel to it when you're putting your hands on there. And then we have our magical crocodile skin computers. We've got the chocolate skin or the pink skin. Obviously this is, and there's a red as well. And obviously they're for a certain kind of consumer, but, you know, damn if that kind of person is not going to be excited when they see these laptops on the market. The Z series laptops, these are 13.3? 13.1. So 13.1 inch laptops, and, you know, all the features you like. A nice little tasty bit is 6 gigs of RAM, which we always like more RAM. And 256 gig SSD, and they've actually set it up as two 128 gigs in RAID 0, so that's kind of definitely going to be extra fast as well, not just one little machine in there. That's all for tonight's update. Thanks for stopping by. Join us weeknights around midnight Sydney time for daily geek news, and for more coverage visit midnightupdate.com.